Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Dickinson, and this video will introduce you to the course, specifically the Blackboard shell that we'll be using for this course. When you first log on to Blackboard and open the course, you will see a screen that looks something like this. Notice that links to most of the important documents that you need for this class, including the syllabus, the schedule, and the My Grades tool are on the left-hand side of the screen. So if you ever have any questions about the policies for this course or about what's due or when assignments are due, that information is easily accessible from the syllabus and from the schedule links that are on the left navigation bar. Most of the activities for this class, including the discussions, the journals, and major assignments, are going to be available through this link on the left navigation bar that's called Weekly Activities. When you click on that, as you see on this screen, that will pull up a list of the folders, and there's a folder for each week of this class. Right now, only the folder for week 1 is available, but as we progress through the class, other folders will become available with information about additional weeks. So in order to access the readings and then also the activities for this week, you will go ahead and click on the folder that goes along with the week that we're in. So right now we're in the first week of the class, so I will click on this week 1 folder. And once you do that, that will take you to a page that has an overview of everything that you need to do for that week. So it lists the videos, the readings, any activities that you need to complete, and if there's any major assignments for that week, it will also list that. And then as you scroll down, you will see links to all of the activities, videos, and any readings that are on Blackboard for that week. So in this case, for week 1, we see there's a link to the video for this week. You can see there's links to the syllabi, the schedule. There's links to the stories that we are reading for this week. There's also a link to a folder that has accessible versions of the readings. So if you're using a screen reader or other device to read the stories, there's links to versions that work well with those technologies in this folder. And then finally, at the bottom of the page, you have links to the activities for this week. So there's a link to discussion 1, a link to the syllabus quiz, a link to the vocabulary quiz for this week, and then also a link to the first journal. And if you click on any of these, that will take you to a page where you can complete that. So for example, if I click on the link for journal 1, it takes me to the page for journal 1. And at the top of this page, it has the instructions for Journal 1. And then in order to get started on Journal 1, I'll simply click this button at the top left-hand side of the page that says Create Journal Entry. Similarly, if I go back to the Week 1 folder and scroll down, I can also click on the link that takes me to Discussion 1. And notice that for discussions for this class, you will usually have an initial post that is due on the Friday of that week. So for example, for this week, your initial post will be due on Friday, August 23rd. And then you have 2 more posts due on the Sunday of that week. So for this week, your 2 follow-up posts will be due on Sunday, August 25. So that's a total of 3 posts for each discussion. 1 due on Friday, and 2 more due on Sunday. And in order to do that, I simply click on Discussion 1. And that takes me to this page. And I will, for this discussion, to get started, I will click Create Thread. And that opens up a page where I can do my subject and start doing and complete my post. And you'll notice that the instructions for the discussion are up here at the top of the page. So I think that's everything that you need to get started for this course. I'll be providing additional information about activities and assignments as we move through the course, as well as tools that we'll be using as we move through the course. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can send me an email, or you can contact me through the Ask My Instructor forum. And in order to access that, you simply go over to the left navigation bar and click this link that says Ask Your Instructor. And that opens up another discussion board where you can click Create Thread and post a question. And I will respond to those questions as soon as I can. Also, if you have a question and you're waiting on my response, or you want to see if I've already answered that question for somebody else, you can go to this forum and see if anybody has already had that question and whether or not I've already answered that question. So let me know if you have questions. You can either email me or you can post to Ask My Instructor. And I am looking forward to this class and to getting to know all of you a little bit better.